in his second letter, in the chapter 10 and 13. We, the apostles, that means the 12 apostles and Saint Peter, we have no authority, not the least authority, against the truth. The truth, our Lord told us, is your speech must be si, and Latin, no, no. What is, what is not, is not. The principle of the Greeks, of the Greek philosopher Aristotle, too. The basis of the thought, the principle of no contradiction, without which we cannot think nothing true, nothing real. And our Lord goes on. Anything else than this principle comes from the devil. That means that the ambiguity, all what is ambiguous, comes from the devil when it is voluntary. The ambiguity is to say what is and is not. To say what is or is not. When you say something that have two meanings, difference, to two persons or two groups of persons, for instance, for Rome and for the society, that means you want to deceive or Rome or the society or both groups. That is why God says in the Psalms, I hate the mouse double, the double mouse. Os bilingue detesto. I hate the mouse of two tongues. The serpent has a tongue with two extremities, has a double tongue. That means God hates the word of double meaning, double signification, double speech. When you say something that Rome will understand in one way, and that the priests and the faithfuls of the tradition will understand the contrary. It is exactly the case of the doctrinal declaration of the 15th of April of Bishop Faure, the case of the interpretation of continuity, hermeneutic of continuity of Benedict XVI. To say that what is contrary to the tradition in the council, what is a rupture with the tradition, in fact you must interpret, understand it. You must understand that it is not the contrary, it is not a rupture with the tradition. You must admit, interpret that what is, in fact, the contrary is not the contrary. That what is, as a matter of fact, is not. What is not. That is why our Lord told us, I am the truth. All the ones who are of the truth who loves the truth will listen to me, to my words, will follow me. Our Lord answers to Pilate, yes, you have said it, I am king. I have come to the world, to the earth, to give testimony of the truth. So, he says that his mission was to give testimony to the truth. And this testimony, he signed it with his blood in the cross. To be saint is to do what the Christ, our Lord, has done. This is the imitation of Jesus Christ. So it must begin giving testimony of the truth in your word and in your life. When you say something that two persons may understand in a different way, or you want to deceive one person, or you want to deceive both of them. As says the proverb, you can lie to everybody sometime. You can lie to some people all the time. But you cannot lie to everybody all the time. In the same two chapters, Saint Paul says, we, the apostles, all the authority we have received from God is for your edification, to teach you the faith and the moral. We have no authority, not the least authority, for your destruction, to diminish or destroy your faith and your moral. As is doing now, for instance, the Pope Francis, when he says that who am I to judge the homosexuals, and that when he is in favor of Cardinal Casper, if the next part of the synod go in the same way, then they will oblige the priest to give the communion to the public sinners, adulteries, homosexuality, all these things. And so this goes against the moral. It's a destruction of the moral. The people today have lost the sense of sin. But of course, this goes in the same way, but with the authority of the Pope. Now, the authority comes from God, and you cannot use it against God to induce others to the sin or to the error. And that is what the popes of the council are doing. Before the council, the authority was at the service of the truth. With the council, there was a divorce between authority and truth. And so now you have to choose, or the authority or the truth, or the authority or the faith, or to obey to the men of church, the churchmen, or to obey to God, to the truth of God, the faith. With the council, Satan realized his master work, as said Bishop Lefebvre. He puts the authority at the service of the lie, of the error, of the revolution, and of the betrayal. In the Apocalypse, Saint John speaks to the seven churches of seven epochs of times. With the Council, we have entered in the time of the great apostasy of the Church of Judas. If God permitted one traitor out of 12 apostles, he can permit the betrayal of some popes. And that is why our Lord has wanted one of the 12 for a traitor. So from now on, the authority is no more the service of the truth, but it is used against the truth, against the faith and the moral. And what is against the faith is against the moral. Because Saint Thomas explained that sin against the faith is the worst of all the sins. Because it is sin who aparts us, who separates us the more from God. And that is why in the church and now in the society we have to choose between the faith and between the authority, or one or the other, or the truth, or the doctrine, or the authority. Between the churchman and God, we have to choose. As Saint Peter told to the high priest, we have to obey to God before obeying to the men who are the representatives of God, but the unfaithful representatives of God. The truth is the Catholic doctrine that 250 popes have maintained for 2,000 years, almost. The truth of all the saints of the Church, all the doctors. And our Lord told us, the earth and the heaven will pass. My words, my doctrine, will not pass. It's forever. It's an eternal doctrine. Our Lord says, my doctrine is not mine, but of the Father. And because he is of the Father, he is the doctrine of the Holy Trinity, of our Lord and of the Holy Ghost. And our Lord transmits this doctrine to the apostles, who transmit it to the popes. But we learn in this epoch that in the same way as during the Renaissance, the popes were not faithful to the morals, and they gave many scandals. Now we have popes that are not faithful to the truth, to the faith. And many doctors of the church, all the doctors, say that the Pope may fall in heresy. But most of the doctors say that he does not lose his jurisdiction ipso facto, automatically. And so there is different opinion about the way the Pope could lose his authority, his jurisdiction. But of course, as we have just read, we have not to obey to when the authority is going against the faith, the truth. For 2 centuries, since the French Revolution, the Catholicism liberal tried many times, 3 or 4 times, to conquer the French Church, the Church of France, and the papacy. And every time the popes stopped. Gregorio the 15th, Pius the 9th, and Saint Pius X. But it is true that there was some errors of the Pope, who sometimes resurrects the liberal Catholicism. For instance, the reconciliation with the Republic of France. That was a Masonic Republic. And after Pius XI condemned anti-modernist et anti-liberal movement, the French Action Française. And so that, that was very good, because it is when the leftist wing win in the French episcopate. And they began in 1926 to prepare their council. They say that Cardinal Marty told them, Paris. But of course now the liberal Catholicism and the modernism had the victory in the church. And so to pretend to reconcile with Rome is in fact to reconcile with the Catholicism, liberal Catholicism, and with the modernists. And to ask to these people, these heretics, that they accept to give us the seal of Catholic. This is nonsense. So now we have the authority against the faith. And the best arguments that they have in the church and in the society, the best arguments they use against the truth, against the doctrine, is charity, humility, holiness, sanctity. And in the society now, with holiness and the sanctity, the Mass, only the Mass. For Bishop Lefebvre, the first was, as for Saint Pius X, the kingdom of Christ, the reign of our Lord. But now, no, the Mass, only the Mass and the sanctity. But Bishop Lefebvre said, what opposes us to the authority in Rome is not so much the Mass, it is the doctrine, and the doctrine of the reign of our Lord, Jesus Christ. And so now there is a change in the society. The priest, the bishop, is obliged to confess the faith. But an important part of the confession of faith is to attack the error against the faith and the men who defend this error. In all the epistles, we see Saint Peter, Saint Paul, Saint John, all of them attacking the bad pastors, the wolves with skin of sheep. All all the fathers of the church fought against heresies, against Celsius, against Arius, against Nestorius, and so on. Saint Augustine, Saint Thomas, all the doctors. It is our duty, if that we have to denounce. We must not be like the mute dogs of the scriptures. The doctors have to bark as the dogs, bark against the thieves and the rogues. So we must pray Our Lady, guardian of the faith, to maintain us in the good fight of the faith. We had good examples with Bishop Faure and Bishop Castromayer. Unfortunately, when they died, they were betrayed. There was a betrayal of their fight in the diocese of Campos in Brazil, and now in the South City, unfortunately. But God permits that. We must not judge them, only God judge. It is sure, they think that it is a good way. But for some reason, they are in this very serious error. Saint Thomas says that that is for the men of the church. No? We do not lose the faith without another sin. Generally, in these intellectuals, it could be the sin against humility, the pride. So we shall ask in this Mass that Our Lady maintains us in the faith. Till the end, our Lord told only the one who will maintain in the faith, only this one will be saved. So we have to ask this grace. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.